Welcome to the post show from the Ballito Pro, presented by O'Neill. 2023 stop 3 of 6 on the Challenger Series and the opening day of our event window, opening day of competition. We've seen, well, first of all, the key ingredient is waves. We've had them. We've seen some crunch performances as well. We're going to break those down, bring you some key heats and top 5 moments of the day. Joining myself, Paul Evans, to talk you through it. Mike Fruit, Kai Linder. How are we feeling, chaps?
Pumped after day one. There was some great surfing, and it was awesome to have the Qualification showcase like that on day one.
Ultimately, the tide kind of kept things slow this afternoon. The last couple of heats a bit slow, but majority of the day, some real quality out there and loads of opportunity for our surfers.
Yeah, I think Travis made the right call. It was just getting a little bit fat, a little bit tricky, especially with that strong southerly wind starting to come up. It was only predicted at about 8-9 knots, but I think it actually pushed through it a little bit harder. As you said at the end of that last heat, though, some big sets coming again. And I think that's what we're going to see overnight, is that swell getting pushed in by this wind. But the good news is that high tides are going to get later and later in the day as we go through the week, and the low will go sort of mid-morning to late morning. So I think we're looking excellent for the rest of the week.
All right, well, bunch of good heats today, but a pick of one of those was heat number 6 of our round of 80. And speaking of excellent, saw some excellent scores in that. Let's just remind ourselves how this one went down. But Krystian Kymerson, we called this heat, and we were talking about him and what he can do and that X factor that he brings. And he blew this one up, as did Nolan Raposo. He looked really good with this combo.
The waves for me were the best. They were almost the whole day in this particular event. The heat started super slow until that air, and then the whole thing lit up, and suddenly each surfer just lifted the game. They turned the volume up, and we saw some high scores starting to drop in on the scoreboard.
If there was a sort of a manual on how to do a backhand hanger turn, that's pretty much it from Nolan, right? I mean, you couldn't really turn any harder than that. But this guy, Kymerson, he said, you know what, I want to get at this. Degree of difficulty on the end. Radical surfing. He loved it.
On that full low tide, that end section is super difficult. So to stick it when you're on the lip and you go down with the lip and land in that explosion, ride it out clean, that was great.
So excellent score there for Raposa. Gets himself in second behind Krystian Kymerson. A really entertaining heat. Tanaka as well surfed well. And Ryan Canalo, we mentioned, a very bright future ahead of him. Already tasted success in Junior's hit at Ballito. Expect to see a lot more of him on the Challenger Series and very possibly beyond later in his career. Let's speak about the women now and think about outstanding heat. And this one was our second heat of the day. From the women, and another really entertaining encounter. There's still some quality out there available, and we talked about that blend of the up-and-coming surfers and some of the more established names, and I've really enjoyed that tussle. It's one of the stories throughout the day.
Yeah, those youngsters that come through and attack some of the big names. We've seen some great surfing there, and they've really stepped up the game. I mean, to see 14 and 15-year-olds surfing against experienced Challenger and CT competitors, it was great to see that contrast today.
Yeah, Kai, this was the round of 48 for the women, and this was our second heat of the day. And as soon as we switched over from the women's division, the performances stayed really, really strong. And this was great to see. Philippa Anderson, who does have some experience on the Challenger Series, she's been right in contention, in conversation for qualifying. And, well, this is why, the sort of quality she was able to put down today.
Yeah, well, Phil's just a very polished act all around, and for me it's amazing that she hasn't actually qualified for the championship tour yet. She's got everything that's required to surf at that level, and of course also very experienced here in South Africa, having that heritage, having been born in South Africa and grown up here. This is one of those youngsters we talk about though, and just really polished surfing. I love seeing the big rail lines, pushing out the turns there as well. And it's been an amazing day just seeing all these young girls just performing at such a high level. I've been blown away.
Yeah, Mike, we were talking about in terms of qualifying, in terms of challenges from the Brazilians, the women don't have quite the success, or they haven't recently, that some of the men have had. And I tell you what, Laura's looking to change that situation. She looked really good out there.
She really stepped it up. In that heat, she was on the back foot for a lot of the heat. And in the last sort of 5 minutes, she got that score that got her back up into advancing position. It's also her very first event on the Challenger Series this year.
All right, speaking of up-and-coming talent, we saw one from Hawaii, Philippa Soto, the last heat of the day. She's with Gig Cilliers.
Here with Philippa Soto, she navigated her way to a last heat of the day, a win. Philippa, high tide conditions, you managed to pluck a few though.
Yes, I did. I mean, it was still really tough, and my goal is to just go out there and, you know, just surf and stay busy and, you know, look for one turn, but also try to maybe link up 2 turns after I got my 1-turn waves, and yeah.
And you mentioned campaigning at the Challenger Series level now. How's some feelings and feedback so far?
Nui ka mea ia oi ia u I keia mau ho'okuku a pau. There's so many things that I've been learning at these events and this level, and it's, you know, motivating, and it pushes me, and, you know, only want to grow from here. So just keep taking every experience as a learning experience, and also enjoy every experience, every loss, every win. Enjoy the experience, enjoy the place I'm in, and just be grateful.
Wise words. You mentioned Dad, Dwayne DeSoto, former world longboard champ, doing a strong coaching role for you?
Yes. My dad has been coaching me since, I was born, but he is in California with my siblings at Nationals right now, so he couldn't make it. My mom came with me, but, you know, always grateful to him, and he has given me all his knowledge and his energy, and he always normally comes with me, so I'm kind of missing him, but, you know, happy to be with my mom too right now.
Well, aloha, sister. You're through to the next round of the Ballito Pro. Back to you boys in the studio.
Thanks, Gigs. Well done, Pua. Mum strength guiding her through. A solid performance from her, a polished campaigner, and just a great force, good energy to have in around the event. A big talent for the future as well out of Hawaii. Let's see how she goes later on in the competition, but just one of many people who on our first day put their hand up with outstanding performances. Have actually picked out those best 5 moments from the day. It's been quite a lot of highlights. Moment number 5, one of our surfers from South America, strong contingent from Chile, Guillermo Sat, able to smash out a big punt for a 7-5. Guillermo going with the progression.
Takes to the air and lands it nice and clean. I love the amplitude that he got on there, and it was into that southwesterly wind, so as that wind came through, started taking advantage of it.
7-5 for that one. Meanwhile, Kian Martin, he put together a combo of good scores, find himself some tube time here, Kai.
Yeah, the Balinese surfer just found the barrels out there. We hadn't really seen too many barrels throughout the day, and suddenly Kian didn't just find one, he found 2 for 2 solid scores. This was the one though, so deep behind the curtain, and I don't know where he found that wave. Literally just the gem amongst all the other waves of the day.
Yeah, looked like he was free surfing in a heat, didn't he? So did this guy, Krystian Kymerson. We talked about how explosive he is. He's such an entertainer. Really good value in these conditions.
Yeah, that was that one where he tagged the end section, went high risk for the last turn, pulled it off, and you can see from his body language, he was so stoked with that. Then he did this, he did a full rotation air, looked straight at the judges, super pumped.
You watch the slow-mo of this, this is Kymerson all day long. He's been here in Ballito quite a few times. He's won a lot of the expression sessions and air shows, so he's just doing Kymerson right there.
Yeah, looking really good, and also just serving a little bit of notice as well, those surfers. Just like what we've seen a theme on the championship tour, you don't necessarily need a bomb or a set wave. You need a score, you can get something in between, even a closeout, and go right up through the scale, possibly even towards the 10s, and let's hope we see more of that kind of surfing here at Ballito.
Absolutely. I think that on day one, it was great to see a combination of tubes, carves. We saw some of the big aerial maneuvers, and I really look forward to what we're going to see for the rest of the week, especially as the swell increases.
Hi, overall, you satisfied with what you're seeing for today, and what you're looking forward to the rest of the week?
Yeah, look, today was a great start. I think we had not perfect conditions. A lot of the guys were saying that it was a little bit more tricky than it looked on camera. Tough day for the South Africans, but Dan Emsley going through. We saw one of our young ladies go through as well, and we've got a few more girls to come in the last 2 heats of the round, so hoping that they can do a little bit better for the South Africans. But the forecast is looking tasty. I think tomorrow morning could be really good. Wednesday, maybe a lay day. There's a big swell with pumping southwest winds. I don't know if we're going to go on Wednesday, but that means that when the wind swings back through to the north on Thursday morning, it looks like a real deal Ballito. So I'm super pumped.
I'm loving this positivity, boys. Thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, 7 o'clock local time tomorrow, worldsurfleague.com. We'll see you then.